Hello and welcome back to Paris Crochet Flow. My name is Paris and I am here with an update on my granny square blanket. I know I have shared with you this blanket quite a bit. I believe since I started it. I called it my blues blanket and you can see why. I think I'll have to stand up to show you how it turned out and then we can talk more about it. So there is my blues blanket and I finished with black. There's navy blue but also there's black, but the idea was to start from the beginning with light blues and then progress like that with darker and darker blues, but I didn't seem to have too many of the darker blues, so this is what I have and it is finished. It's a square, so that's what it looks like. But if you've been looking for something to do to bust your small bunches of yarn or scrappy yarn, this is something I found very helpful because, as you can tell, I've used quite a bit of my yarn. So I'm just gonna fold it that way so I can show you kind of a little bit what I did with it. So I started with this here looks like a green, and then I went to light blue and then to a little bit of a darker blue and then went back to the lighter blues again. But finally what I did is this color here, which looks sort of, it does have some blue to it, but I think it's more, I don't know, purple, I don't know. It's a darker blue, and then I went to this blue and then to navy blue, and then because my navy blue ended up so fast and I hadn't finished up one row, I took black just so that to finish my unfinished row, so I ended up doing 2 black rows. So that's my granny square blanket and it's beautiful. I just have to wash it and give it to my partner because it belongs, I made it for my partner. It's for using at the couch. Now, the other thing I would like to share with you is I have started another year project, as I will call it, because I finished my shawl, which I shared with you that I was knitting. Usually I don't knit much. I do more crochet than knitting. These days I hardly have even time to crochet, leave alone knitting. So I have this and I intend for it to be a nice top to wear with jeans. That's what I'm visualizing. Not that I know that it's gonna turn out nice, but I think it will. So I doubled up this yarn, which I don't have the band, so I don't know exactly what it is, but it's I believe it's a sock yarn. I'm not very sure. So I doubled it. I don't think, yeah, I really don't know the size, but I doubled it so so it's not as thin as the shawl, so it's moving on well. And my idea with this sweater is for me to do at least 2 rows or 3 rows every day, and I'll tell you where that is coming from. So I have been thinking that I need to keep up doing my knitting or crocheting because that's my self-care, but my time is very limited and I've been saying this, I've been saying I'll share with you, but this has to wait. This could wait for maybe a year or two before I say what has been going on. But the reality is I have hardly any time to do my crochet, which really gets to me because I really, really love to do my crochet or knitting, but I don't have that time to do that. Well, I can create some time, which is what I'm getting to. So I did read this book last year sometimes by James Clear, and it's Atomic Habits. I'm going to read this book again because I cannot summarize the book for you or anything. If you're interested, you can go buy it, but it's a very, very helpful book. I love, love, love what I learned from it. And those are some of the principles I'm applying even to my crocheting and to my any other work I do. I do try to apply some of the principles I learned from this book. So my thing is I pick up my crochet, even if I only do one row, at least I did that one row every day. And that's my thing with my new knitting sweater. I'm picking it up every day and I've written it down, and that's another topic. I've written it down in my diary that I'll do 2 rows, 2, 3, but at least I have to do something every day. I put it in my mind that I need to do it. At least I get to do something that is self-care, and also I make progress in that, and it makes me feel good. So this book, Atomic Habits, just doing 1%, just doing those small increments at the end of the day, they do make a big difference. And that applies to any habit, whether it's exercise, whether it's knitting, whether it's crochet, whether it's something you're trying to finish up, a big project. If you're a writer, I'm not. I do write for schoolwork, but if you're a writer, if it's just do something, that 1%, those increments, they end up being something big. So if you're interested, this book, I know it's old. I know people have read it, and I read it sometimes last year in the beginning, or maybe last year but one. But this is one of the book I plan to read again, just because I learned so much from it and it's very valuable. The other book I'm reading now is The Power of Writing It Down. This is something I've always known because I love to journal, so I write things down. Sometimes what that means writing in my beautiful planners. This is one I got from Happy Planners, but I have something to say about these planners, but I won't talk about it right now. Whether that's be writing in your planner or just on your board, I have boards in my room and I write things on them all the time. But there are other things that I write in journals, and I write my hopes, I manifest things that way just by writing them down. So this is another book I'm reading, and this builds on to that. So Atomic Habits, just do 1%, do one small thing every day. So this book is by my bedside, and as you can tell, I haven't read much. That's all I've done. I believe I'm in page 69, and the book is let me see, is 208, 209 pages. So, and I'm in page 69, and all I do is I read 1 or 2 pages every day. As long as I read something, that's all I do. And it's okay. Maybe there are people who can read this book in a day or in 2 days and they are done, but that's not my goal. My thing is read, at least if I read 1 or 2 pages every day, at least I do read something. I'm applying that to crochet, I'm applying that to reading, I'm applying that to other projects that I'm doing. But now this book talks about writing things down, or becoming a writer, or being a writer, whether you believe yourself to be one or not. But the way I'm using it is just to motivate myself in my everyday life, whether that means writing down my hopes, writing down things that I'm planning to do, writing down just writing, just any writing. I'm using this to kind of inspire myself and to remind myself that it's not easy and it doesn't have to be easy, but I just have to keep doing it. So this is another book I would recommend. It's very well done. Alison Fallon, and I hope I'm saying it correctly. Fallon, forgive me if I'm saying that name wrong. I am not here to promote any of these books, but these are just books that have been very, very helpful in just everyday's life. So write it down. There are things I wrote down maybe 30 years ago, and I see them come true. And that I base on a verse, I believe in the Bible, Habakkuk 2 verse 3 or 3 verse 2, which says, even though it tarries, it will surely come. So write them down, write something down. If you have some hopes, if you're working on something, planning ahead and just writing what you're gonna do maybe the next day or the next week. That's the way at least I use it, and I've seen I've seen quite some progress in that area. So those are two books. Maybe I'm not too eloquent in the way I'm sharing about the books, but if you're interested and you love reading and you wanna change some things in your life, these are two books that I can highly, highly, highly recommend. So thank you for being with me. And this is not I know this goes beyond my knitting and my crocheting, but I did mention before when I started my channel, and when I even in my description of my channel, I do say that once in a while I'll share my other loves, which includes reading and sometimes gardening based on what time it is. If I mean the season, if it's springtime, sometimes I do a little bit of gardening. I do have a little bit of house plants, and I can share that as a love as well. But my biggest love is crocheting and reading. So there you are. My blanket is finished, and I will be back to share with you what else I start and what I'm doing one row a day or just 1% or just a little bit, and it ends up being finished. So this can be a lesson, even other bigger projects. If you're starting a business, just do something every day, and it adds up and you see results as long as you keep at it. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me. If you're making something, happy crocheting, happy knitting, happy reading, and just go with the flow. Bye now.